It was a big deal when they went up against Uruguay. Then it was announced that they'd be playing Netherlands and France back-to-back here before heading to Copa America, where they will begin things against Argentina. But here right now today, KJ, what does it mean to be playing the Dutch?
It's marvelous, no? It's marvelous. It's what these players want. It's, again, the establishment of Canadian football and the respect that we're getting. You know, I remember Alphonso Davies telling me, you know, he would go to international duty and the Bayern Munich teammates would snicker. It's like, who are you playing? Where can we find those guys on the map? No one's looking where you can find the Dutch and the French on a map. Okay, they know. They've got the respect, all right? So this is what we need to do, is embrace it. And, okay, we're going to talk about outcomes later, and hopefully it goes well, and maybe it doesn't. But I'll say this, in international football, you always get chances. I watched Luxembourg against France yesterday for France against Canada on Sunday, and it was 3-0, and the French had the ball the majority of the time, but you always get a shot. You always get a chance, do you know what I mean? It isn't necessarily built the way that club football is built, where the training sessions are so particular, and you're with them every day, and you can get a team go out and you can rout them 8 or 9-0. International football, you can stay in the game, Jordan, and I think Canada can play the way that they want to play today, regardless of the outcome, and come away with benefits.
For the last 10 years, I'll say, closely monitoring, people have talked about Canadian soccer and the culture, right? And the culture that's growing, but the culture that wasn't there, and all this stuff about culture. Playing national teams that have a culture is what you want as a Canadian. I'm getting ready, I'm putting on the blazer today, and I feel like I'm playing. Like, if you're Canadian, you're excited for this match. I'm here with my nice shoes on. I'm not playing. Thank God for that. But you're so excited because of the team that you're playing against. You want more matches like this. I'm sure the players are delighted to play. And this is such a big opportunity, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
Players are excited. The fans are excited. We're excited. Kickoff's right around the corner. We know at home you are excited. What better way to spend your afternoon than watching Canada face off against the Netherlands? And the last time, the only time these two teams actually played against each other, you have to go back to 1994. The game was played in Toronto, Ontario. The Dutch went on to play in the World Cup right after, making it to the quarterfinals. Oh, it was not a good day for our good friend Craig Forrest. 3 goals by Dennis Bergkamp, Mark Overmars, and Frank Rijkaard.
Legends.
Woo!
Big names.
30 years later, Canada and the Netherlands kick off against each other, and it's right here on One Soccer next.
Canada's men's national team on One Soccer is brought to you by Toyota.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada, because this journey belongs to everyone.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
This is not just laundry. This is laundry that's one and done. This is the ultra-fast combo laundry machine that does both washing and drying cycles, so you can take a load off. This is cleaning large loads in about 2 hours. No more checking, no more forgetting. Profile is revolutionizing laundry, making any room the laundry room. This is GE Profile.
From the edge of your seat or up on your feet, let them hear you cheer.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
Welcome to Rotterdam, the Netherlands' second largest city and site of the Kuip. Feyenoord Stadium, and a rare European adventure for Canada, and the first of 2 marquee fixtures over the next 4 days. Canada ready to face the Netherlands for the first time in 30 years, and for the first time ever on European soil. An opponent fitting of the day and occasion. Before the football, it must be said, today one of those poignant days where historical importance still echoes in present time. 80 years ago today, Canadians stood side by side, arm in arm with the Allied forces, storming the beaches of Normandy. Over 14,000 Canadians were part of that Allied effort at Juno Beach, the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we enjoy today. 13 Canadian veterans in military uniform, the oldest 104 years old, who survived the war effort, were part of the ceremony that took place on that very same beach earlier today. Around 160,000 Allied troops landed on the beaches that fateful day, D-Day, 80 years ago, to begin an effort now remembered as the beginning of the end of the Second World War. Those efforts included the liberation of Belgium and right here in the Netherlands. In all, 4,414 Allied troops were killed the first day of the invasion, including 381 Canadians. The captain, Alphonso Davies, today proudly wears the poppy on his armband, lest we forget. And as for the football, the enormity of the occasion really matches the magnitude of the job at hand for the new Canada manager, Jesse Marsh, in his first game in charge. Big picture with eyes on 2026 in the World Cup. The immediate pressure to not only perform against some of the world's best, but bring this group together ahead of Copa America, which begins 2 weeks today. The task at hand is simply enormous. Nothing comes easy from the get-go, with 3 games coming against 3 of the top 7 sides in the FIFA rankings. The Netherlands, 7th, have aspirations of their own. They last won the European Championship in 1988, a tournament stage in Germany, just like the 2024 edition. So a friendly in name, but critical preparations for both, and potential indicators of where both teams stand and where they need to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and respect for the national anthems of Canada and the Netherlands.
It's the Netherlands, it's Canada, it's right here on One Soccer. A big week ahead for both Canada and the Netherlands in preparation for the respective competitions. The Netherlands today under Ronald Koeman, a side with unquestionable talent, dynamic with depth. It's about getting the mix right ahead of the Euros. The question is, what formation? It looks like they're playing a 3-4-3 today, but there's significant rotation from a 2-1 loss to Germany in March. 6 changes in total. The goalkeeper Verbruggen retains his spot. Daley Blind, he's the captain, 107th cap, that's the 5th most all time. Gertruder and Spurs' Mickey van de Ven come into the team, as does Jeremy Frimpong. 14 goals, 12 assists for Bundesliga winners Leverkusen on the season. It's a Norwegian officiating crew. Rohit Sagi takes the reins. Should also mention Memphis Depay gets the start for the Netherlands. Only Robin van Persie has more goals for the Orange. As for Jesse Marsh, his first Canada 11, it features 4 changes from the side that beat Trinidad and Tobago 2-0 in March. Those changes predominantly at the back. A change at goalkeeper with Dane Sinclair making his 5th Canada start. Moise Bombito and Derek Cornelius form a brand new center-back partnership. Across the back 4, joined by the captain Alphonso Davies, captaining Canada for the very first time and playing left back, a position he hasn't played for country in 3 years. Reliable Alistair Johnston plays down the right. Eustachio and Kone comprise a 2-man midfield. Liam Miller is the other addition to the 11, playing from the left. Inter's Tajon Buchanan down the right, and no change at all up front. Canada's number 1 and 2 goal scorers of all time. A 40th start, that is, for Jonathan David. And Kyle Laren's 29 Canada goals, they combine to lead the line. So just about the strongest team possible for Marsh, what he could have played for the start in this one. It's a 4-2-2 formation. So it's a first look at the next version of this young Canada team. With Marsh at the wheel, can a Canada 2.0 evolve, reach new heights, and move towards taking full advantage of this supremely talented group of Canadian footballers? First impressions can often be lasting ones, and this game against this opponent will certainly be a memorable one. There are no easy games, and the harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph. Gareth Wheeler alongside former Canadian men's national team player Jimmy Brennan as we take a look at Jesse Marsh out of his first game in charge. It's a tough one as Canada have only played 4 games as a country since last July. So what are you expecting from this team here today?
I'm going to expect a lot of energy from this Canadian side. You've got a new manager who's come in. He's got a new philosophy, identity that he wants to bring to this team. And you've got a bunch of players here that have got to make a great impression in this first match, because this is a group now that they want to start in a Copa America. They want to start in the World Cup, and they know the long-term plan. And I'm sure these players are going to showcase everything that they got tonight, and especially playing against a world-class team like Holland.
Ball played back to Verbruggen out of the gate, plays it to the left for Van de Ven, who looks like he's playing on the left side, so this might be a 4-3-3 with Frimpong playing a little bit further forward. For the Dutch, I mean, that's been the debate, 4-3-3, 3-4-3. They want to play the typical Dutch way in terms of 4-3-3 football, with so many excellent center backs at Koeman's disposal. There were decisions to make. Ball misplayed inside. There Cornelius steps and slides through. It's Alistair Johnston playing the ball long, coming off another top season, doing the double with Celtic. This ball played back to the 34-year-old Daley Blind. 37,000, that is, expected in attendance as Jonathan David wins one early off the ball. Good pressing attacker is Jonathan David, not to mention his goal-scoring record. Buchanan to Eustachio. David gets inside. David's inside the 18, still on it. Little bit of a heavy touch. Canada did the hard work, and it all started with the pressure by David.
Yeah, it was good pressure. Really was. Buchanan linking up with Eustachio, and here David gets in, but that touch just took him away from goal, allowed the defender to get in. You can see he's got his head up. He's looking for that right pass, but the defender closed him too quick. He couldn't get that ball out of his feet.
Van de Ven won the Tottenham Hotspur Player of the Year as voted by the supporters. Your CIBC Player Spotlight, it's Liam Miller coming off a very good season out loan at Preston North End and is one of the new players in Jesse Marsh's starting 11 here today.
Look, I like the way that he plays. He's one of those players that wants to take players on. He's brave, especially in that final third. He's got good pace, and he'll bring an awful lot of energy to that left side.
Scored his first Canada goal, did Liam Miller, in the Gold Cup last summer against Cuba. Lintz playing on the left side of a back two with Delict. Inside to Gigi Wijnaldum to Memphis Depay. Can't miss him scoring the headband here tonight. Out of contract with Atletico Madrid as speculation starting to swirl about his future. Delict wide right. There's Frimpong. Seldom used by Country, an opportunity with Denzel Dumfries on the bench to start here tonight. De Bruggen of Brighton. Van de Ven, towering figure. Good pressure by Ismail Kone. Some important players not available for the Dutch tonight. Renders. De Jong is still nursing an ankle, and Koop Miners. Players like Gakpo and Van Dijk available for Koeman off the bench. Scooten. Back to Delict. Good ball inside. Depay. Look in the direction of Brian Brobby. Caught up in the feet of Moise Bombito to his advantage, and the ball played out quickly. Miller knocks down to David, who plays it wide for Larin. Quick move on the counterattack. It's Canada. Miller, square. Tempted to do so to Buchanan. Johnston. Goes back to Moise Bombito, just in his second year for Colorado Rapids in Major League Soccer. Johnston. Good ball over the top. Flag stays down for now. It's Tajon Buchanan. Buchanan plays it across. No one there. Was looking for Kyle Larin. The flag does go up, as it inevitably does in the game today. He was offside.
Yeah, he was offside. Defender did well just to stop. Knew Buchanan was gone. I think they'll have the flag stay down. I would like to see Buchanan have a shot there. I know what he was trying to do, played across goal, but sometimes be a little greedy in that situation.
There's 50-year-old Jesse Marsh, thrilled by the Canadian job, situation he finds himself in. Buchanan, no goals for Canada in 15 games. His last goal for Canada came the day they qualified for the World Cup against Jamaica. Did score a goal with Inter Milan in limited action, 10 games overall, after his January move from Club Rouge. Wijnaldum playing for Al Ettifaq in Saudi Arabia. Scooten. Give away again, good high pressure from Canada. This is what you expect from a Jesse Marsh side. Press high, try to recover, then play direct.
Yeah, I like it already. I like the pressure. They're making it difficult for the Dutch to get out. And it is quite difficult at times when you want to play this pressing game, especially with that tempo. And you'll see Miller and Buchanan, they'll be doing an awful lot of work as they're closing down, but at the same time, they've got to track back, pick up runners. But you can see they're compact right now. The four across the top, making it difficult.
It's a game model in a 4-2-2.
It is, and they'll set up traps.
Pye, Robbie, lives up to Grabenberg. Cornelius applying pressure, slips over to the right side. Ryan Grabenberg. Of Liverpool. Scored one goal in the Premier League his first season with the club. Like to Frimpong. Treadle. Scooter. Well read. Davies. Really good ball to Jonathan Davies. Just needed a bit of a touch. It's going to be a fascinating watch here today. Davies in his attacking prowess down the left. Hasn't been able to get forward yet. against Frimpong down the right for the Netherlands, two players that love to get involved in the attack. Kone. Of Watford. Disappointing season for the club for Ismail Kone, but him himself, another standout campaign for the 21-year-old. Sinclair. Delict all over Jonathan David. Foul given.
It's been a good start from Canada, though. I like what I'm seeing. I like the pressure that they're putting on, but I love the confidence that they have. Every player wants to get on the ball. Everybody's comfortable in possession.
Eustachio. There is Alphonso Davies. Cuts it back. Liam Miller. Ball bounce. Couldn't get his head over it, and it goes up and over. First time we've really seen Alphonso Davies able to get forward here.
Yeah, that's what you tend to see is when Miller comes in, that just leaves the runway for Davies to get forward. Clever little ball over top by Eustachio. See what Miller's trying to do there. He wants to hit it first time, but just got under it. Maybe could have had a touch and set himself up first.
Wijnaldum. Davies gets there in front of Frimpong. Scoot in. Nice little work to create some space for himself. Still nowhere to go. Depay dropping deep. Gravenberch. Canada well organized. Those four players applying high pressure, causing some problems for the Dutch here. Yeah, just throughout through 10 minutes.
They're just trying to clog up the middle of the Canadians. You can see what they're trying to do. Saying, okay, you can go down the side, but you're not coming down the middle. But that's where our defenders, they can't drop too deep, because then it creates spaces. And then that's when the Dutch will look to get in these little pockets, play those threaded passes.
Slip by Davies. Well recovered, good tackle, strong challenge by Ismail Kone.
You can see, I like when the ball's going back, the Canadians are coming up with it. Getting high up the pitch.
Koeman warned this was going to be a real test for the Netherlands. Very impressed by what he's seen out of Canada. And of course, Canada, big game experience. Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, two of the teams that finished in the final four, top four in the last World Cup. Gravenberch plays it square. Wijnaldum. Tread. Scooted to the feet. Gravenberch. Really well done in tight spaces by Brobbey. Comes out to Frimpong. Played across, straight out through the other side. Memphis Depay is going to let that run into touch, and it's the Netherlands throw. Depay, 44 goals for the Netherlands. Only trails the great Robin van Persie on 50 in terms of all-time goal scorers for the Dutch. Johnston inside, there's Depay. Dangerous pass. Wijnaldum inside. It's Gigi Wijnaldum. Diving effort by Eustachio to block that attempt on goal. Well done by Stefan Eustachio.
Eustachio did ever so well there. I like that. It's good energy. Closing down, blocking shots, players throwing their bodies in the way.
Marsh has used the word selfless on a number of occasions to describe his new team, and no one epitomized. Stefan Eustáquio is absolutely the epitome of it. Davies. Cornelius Melmo in Sweden.
This is a great opportunity for him as well, because there is an awful lot of talk about him getting a move, possibly Ajax or Feyenoord, two big teams that are interested in him. And these are the games that you want to play in and showcase yourself, to show that you can play at that next level.
Some good football by Canada. Here's Buchanan.
It's another good opportunity for Kone as well, who's at Watford. He shows here, and all of a sudden now he starts turning heads. Bigger clubs start having a look at him.
Davies. Couldn't wrap his foot around him, had multiple options.
Yeah, just couldn't wrap his foot around it. You know what he's trying to do, just bend it in. And here, Johnson just giving the ball away too easy. And against teams like this, they tend to punish you, but the Canadians did well blocking the shots. Eustáquio, brilliant. I love seeing that. That's why the importance, just keeping the ball, make sure that you don't give it away too easy, especially in your own third.
Eustáquio, the 2023 Canadian Men's National Team Player of the Year. Scooted. Mabito did well to readjust. Eustáquio came in to help on Robbie. Buchanan fouled by Gravenberg. Free kick. It's heads up by Gravenberg. He knows that Canada want to get out quickly and play more direct.
It's good defending. But Bambino, nice aggressive, not giving his striker an inch. He does use his body well, doesn't he?
So far, so good from the center backs. I mean, Robbie, difficult player, he's very young. This is just his second cap. But he had 22 and 12 in 43 in all competitions for Ajax this season. Foul the other way. Marsh warned how effective the Netherlands are on set pieces. It's going to be Blind. Floats one in over the top. Look out. Dangerous. As Wijnaldum got there first half chance of the game for the Netherlands here in the 16th.
Yeah, terrific ball into the box. Just whipped in. Wijnaldum just sitting behind Johnson. Fortunately, Laren's just there, just to give it a little nudge, not give him a free header.
Koeman relying on a player like Wijnaldum. He's had him for club and country in the past, really relies on the player. Might be getting on in terms of age, but still his output very, very good. Handball, Kyle Laren. Tried to play it quick to the advantage of Canada. David goes down, rather soft, but a free kick given anyways.
His face said it all there, didn't it? More or less, what are you doing? No, you're not supposed to be kicking that ball away.
In a friendly, you can get away with it. Let's put it that way. Lint. Davies' Bayern Munich teammate, Matthijs de Ligt. Good atmosphere in the Kuip, which the translation is the tub, reflecting the style of the Feyenoord Stadium, the wave going on. Among the 37,000, we were told that there's going to be about 400 Canadian supporters all together in a section here today. Good to see the Voyageurs traveling. Two important games, the Netherlands and the French, upcoming on Sunday in Bordeaux. Davies gets there ahead of Frimpong again. Wijnaldum. They have Miller tracking back. Frimpong to Wijnaldum. Flag stays down for now. Now it goes up. Drives me, Jimmy. Just the delay, the delayed flag, the delayed call, I should say. It's actually onside.
Was the next place when he was coming back.
This is Koeman's second stint with the Dutch. He's never taken them to a major tournament before, however. In Group D, they opened up by playing Poland. France, who was in their qualifying group, also in Group D, along with Austria. And a man who originally interviewed Jesse Marsch for the Red Bull job in Ralf Ragnar. Miller. Not much he could have done with that. Gravenberg. It's been a bright start for Jordi Schuiten of PSV. Only lost one game on their way to winning the Eredivisie, his PSV side, this past season. Frimpong. Machado. Jeremy Frimpong. Ball played inside, knocked on by Cornelius. Buchanan had to be careful with Van de Ven lurking. Mickey Van de Ven comes away with it. Strong challenge, fully committed Alistair Johnston.
Van de Ven, he's such a big, powerful player. Lots of pace. It's a good challenge by Johnson.
He was clocked doing a sprint, Van de Ven, in January for Spurs. 23.22 miles per hour. It was the fastest sprint in the Premier League since 2020.
Yeah, he's
a big boy. What a signing for Spurs.
He is rapid.
Frimpong, up and over. It's okay, plenty of bodies in the way for Canada, defending well here through 20 minutes. .59% possession for the Dutch thus far. Cornelius. Ambito. David, good turn on Blint. He's got a step or two on Daley Blint, and that's going to be another free kick for Canada. It's one thing that Blint doesn't have, not blessed with pace. Don't think he's ever been. Never mind at 34 years of age.
That's good. I like that with Jonathan David. He sees that the Canadian players are getting man-to-man marked. Can't get out, and he's dropping awfully deep into a pocket. Does well just to get on the ball and spin and turn his man. He just reads the game so well. Finds himself in great little pockets.
Blint has won just about everything in the game. Had a great year with Girona. in La Liga. They're going to the Champions League next year. So a set piece chance for Canada. Very high Dutch line here. Eustachio clips one over the top. It's going to meet its target in Bombito. Off Blint, and is going to go out for the first corner kick of the game to Canada here in the 23rd.
The ball that was just pinged it. Didn't even bend it in. Perfectly weighted. You can see what Bombito was trying to do. Just play it back across goal. Comes off the Dutchman for a Canadian corner.
Thing of beauty, that ball by Eustachio. Let's see if Canada can take advantage. Bombito stays forward, as does Cornelius. Eustachio to take. Stefan Eustachio, good ball, met by Delict. A dangerous spot. Davies, good, to the feet of Johnston. Overlap, Eustachio gets there. Comes off Delict, and it's going to go out for another Canada corner kick. Really well manufactured. Good patience by Canada.
It's a great ball, wasn't it, by Johnson? Knew Eustachio was coming around him. Could see Eustachio looking at him as well. Just said, I almost had it another inch or so. I would have been able to whip it across.
Eustachio short to Davies. Up over the top. Verbergen, I should say, had to be careful. Ball in eyes for that far post, but the goalkeeper takes it down. Some space for Wijnaldum. Blint under pressure again. You like that matchup for Canada, David versus Blint. Depay, well done. To the feet of Brobbey. Crunching challenge by Tajon Buchanan. It's going to be a Canada free kick.
I think he just gets stepped on. Buchanan went in low early. Knew that ball was there to be won, but came out the worst.
Robbie's complaining his shirt's being pulled. He's being manhandled a little bit by Bombito and Cornelius, doing a really nice job.
Yeah, it's just good defending. They're not giving anybody an inch. I like that when your center backs play in an aggressive way. Get nice and tight. The last thing you want to do is let the Dutch players turn and get at you and start running, because that's their strength. They want to get in behind.
Clear night in Rotterdam, 15 degrees. Ideal footballing conditions. Kone. Sinclair. It's been a quiet first 25 minutes of Sinclair's 5th Canada start.
Sure, he's happy with that. Right? Doesn't want to be getting peppered.
His Minnesota United side has got off to a very good start. 3rd in the Western Conference in Major League Soccer. No team has more players away this international window than Minnesota United in MLS. His teammate Taniolo Ashai, a late call-up to Canada. Vendevan keeps it in. Johnston in a fight to Depay. Circled by Canadian players. They swarm. Scooped in. Retruda turns. Well done, Dane Sinclair. Flag goes up. It's offside anyways, but Sinclair was up for it. He was out quick. Canadian goalkeeper did well.
It's a good tussle with the two. Just get tangled up. Van de Ven just uses his body well. Grabs him. Here, he's offside, but again, I like the pressure that the Canadians have on the Dutch players around the box. They're going in numbers collectively, defending well. And St. Clair coming out nice and brave, reading the play well.
Turned out to be a good gamble by Cornelius, stepping forward, trying to get to that ball first. Just progressive defending, not being reactive.
And he knew as well. He knew he was the last man, so he could come up and try to win it.
Wijnaldum keeps it in. Lofts to the far post. Depay pops it up. Bombito needs to clean up. David gets up, and Buchanan needs to get this out. Comes on Van de Ven last, and it's going to be a Canada throw. Cornelius, good outlet to Liam Miller. Just about through the first 30 minutes of the match. Jimmy Brennan, what are your first impressions of Jesse Marsh's first half an hour in charge?
No, I'm liking it. They look very organized.
Frimpong gets a step on Davies. Frimpong holds it up. Davies all over him. Back to Depay. Good recovery by Alfonso. Depay lofts that up. Easy take for Dane Sinclair. That's the player, if anyone, you want the opponent to get a step on Davies because he can make it up in a flash. Looks to be a distinct difference in the way Canada defends, Jim. Is that your big takeaway thus far as well?
No, it's the eagerness to defend. They want to win the ball back in good areas. And they know if the lines get broken, they all get back in numbers. Collectively coming back, working for one another. You can see now, they're all coming back tracking.
Now as Gravenberch goes down again. Canada were among the better sides in terms of pressing, playing a high line at the World Cup, but sometimes the question was, at what cost? What would you sacrifice to put yourself in that scenario? So it's the ongoing battle, and so far so good, just in terms of the overall organization.
Look, when you play a pressing game as well, the idea is to go in numbers, go together. Set up your little traps where you're looking to win the ball. You know you're not going to win it every time, but it's when you do get broken through, it's how quick do you get back? What's your reaction? And you can see if the Dutch are playing and threading little passes, how quick they're getting back in numbers.
Depay and Blint over this. Blint provided the service last time. Depay this time. Lost to the far post, too much for Delict. Right in between, doesn't come off for Memphis or the Dutch.
Wasn't a bad ball either. You see what Memphis was trying to do, just drop it in there, but they just weren't on the same page.
Well done by Bombito again. Some space, it's Wijnaldum. Trotter. Van de Ven. Depay. 3 Canadians. Right there is going nowhere. Buchanan. Tough one for Miller. Cornelius needs to be careful. Frimpong! Brilliant by Alistair Johnston, that slide. Critical intervention. Most dangerous moment of the game. Canada let off the hook, or saved, I should say, by Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, Johnson read it perfectly. Watch Johnson, he reads it. You can see Memphis is in front of him, but look how quick he gets back in front, gets his arm across him. Doesn't make it easy for Memphis. Just does enough.
Good recovery by Johnston, but the question is at what cost as Alfonso Davies remains down on the field. His first match as Canada captain, and this is a real concern. You saw in the highlight, if you weren't watching the play. He tried to keep up with Frimpong, and there was almost like a stumble. Whether he jammed his calf or his ankle, didn't look pretty. He was off the ball and didn't look natural at all. Take another look right there. Just twisted the ankle.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable as soon as he planted his foot. We hope he's all right, just able to walk it off.
Well, you know what this occasion means for Alphonso Davies. The way he wears the maple leaf with so much pride. Spoke about how Jesse Marsch has challenged him both on and off the field, and this is part of that challenge, being able to wear everything that comes with the captain's armband here tonight. It's a double-edged sword. He wants to continue playing, and he's good to go. He's good to go, but at the same time, France on Sunday and Copa America, a date with the world champions Argentina 2 weeks today. Questions for Koeman? He's a divisive manager, really. Seems like he manages more for the occasion than in terms of tactical game planner or tactician. Scrutin slips. Eustachio working hard. Davies back on the field. We'll keep an eye on number 19. Frimpong going into the game. Davies got him. Two players very familiar with one another from the Bundesliga. Bombito. Going to be out for a Canada goal kick. Bombito, such an interesting case. Player who's grown into the professional ranks so quickly, grown into the Canadian men's national team picture, just like Ismail Kone, very, very quickly as well. He was actually used in all 4 Gold Cup games last summer by John Herdman, but as a central midfielder. This seems to be a position that suits him to a T. The speed, the size, the tactical wherewithal, converted striker from his youth days. He's Moise Bombito. Kone. Another of Montreal's finest. Buchanan. Bombito. He scored his first MLS goal back on March 30th, which happened to be his 24th birthday. Davies. Forced off it. Referee's going to call that back. Tried to play advantage. There wasn't any. And the Norwegian official's going to bring this one back. Kone, good ball to his former CF Montreal teammate in Alistair Johnston. Gravenberg goes long. Beto wins that. Oh, that was Broby absolutely campaigning for a foul, and he's finally given one.
Yeah, the ball's up. You can see both players are at it. Broby's just leaning into him, but Bino's not giving him anything for free. It's a good battle between these two.
Marsh raved about Bombito's maturity off the field and says, we're going to invest heavily in you. Could be a critical player heading as we head towards 2026. You always talk about the pathways of Canadian football. Never known any player to take the pathway to Council Bluffs, Iowa, playing at a community college before getting the chance at an NCAA school in the University of New Hampshire. Van de Ven, across, lets it run, Wijnaldum! Again, it's a Canadian player clearing off the line, this time Cornelius. Derek Cornelius put himself in the right place at the right time to deny Wijnaldum. More timely intervention by a Canadian fullback, or defender, I should say.
Here we go. We're talking about his pace. Van de Ven does well just to cut it back. Knows the trailer's coming in. And Cornelius reads it perfectly. Knows Dane Sinclair's got to slide over. That side of the goal is open. That's a defender sensing danger, realizing he's got to help his keeper out.
Another set piece to deal with. It's Blint and Depay. It's Memphis. Far post, Brobby. That stays out. Wijnaldum. Ball still live inside the area. How did that stay out? Here comes the pressure. Kone on Frimpong, forced all the way back. Good pressure by Ismail Kone, and Brobby missing a golden chance to open the scoring. Giveaway. Here's Depay again to Brian Brobby. Memphis. Brobby. It's Cornelius again, heading that clear and out for a Dutch throw.
You can see every time Brobby's going for the ball, Bombito's right behind him, and he's grabbing Bombito's shirt. That's where Bombito's got to get in the ref's head. You know, a little bit more experience. You're telling him, saying, every time he's got my jersey, keep an eye on this. Because it makes it difficult as a defender, because what he ends up doing is pulling you in. And this ball, what a ball that was whipped in perfectly. He does have great delivery. Brobby just trying to go back across goal. Situation like that, it's almost like you got in front of the ball. That's why he was just stretching, reaching for it. Couldn't connect the way that he wanted to.
Just wondering if he could have put that on target, Jimmy. Right idea going across, but that has to be on target, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you could see his body, though, as he was leaning forward, but at the same time trying to come back on it. But if his timing was bang on, he would have went for that far post.
So the best chances created by the Netherlands have come from set pieces. Van de Ven knocks that on. Robbie goes down again, and Bombito's going to go into the book here in the 41st minute. That's back-to-back times where he's been in a real battle with Robbie, and this time comes out second best.
Yeah, just got two arms around him. No getting away from that one. The referee can see it. I like the aggressiveness, but sometimes you don't have to win it every time. Just put the pressure. Let the striker know that you're behind him.
Big step by Cornelius. Pops it up again for Miller. Well done by Cornelius. Plays it off Frimpong and out for Canada throw. The 2018 Canadian Youth Player of the Year, Derek Cornelius. It's 19th cap he's picking up here tonight. Brobby lays it off for Frimpong. Frimpong! Sinclair with the save. It's going to be a Netherlands corner kick. Quick move again as Frimpong really making himself seen and heard. Stinging the gloves of Dane Sinclair.
Yeah, again, you can see Robbie just using his hands and pulling on on Bombito. He's got to let the referee know. Now he's got to play a little bit of a different game. He knows he can't be as aggressive now because he's on a booking. Probably would know that.
Larin knocks it on Skutin. Good little touch by Skutin. Johnston, cheap foul, caught the heel of Wijnaldum. Another set piece. Right in the same area as the last one where Robbie just couldn't shape it on target.
Yeah, just catches him, steps on his heel. It's a good save by St. Clair. Didn't go down too early, stayed up.
The pressure's starting to build on Sinclair in Canada. Netherlands have been much better here over the last 10 minutes. Splinted to Depay once again. De Ligt's on the far post. So is Gertruder. Depay comes off the wall. Nervous for a second as it goes past the far post, and it's going to be another Netherlands corner kick here in the 44th.
He does have such great delivery. It's dangerous every time he's on the ball. That's why the Canadians have got to be very careful. Limit those opportunities of free kicks that you're giving the Dutch around the box.
Depay. De Ligt comes off his arm.
Commentator's curse, isn't it? I'm just telling you how good his service is.
Well, they went short. I mean, the service has been great. I just, at that moment, get into the box because his service has been that good. Miller. Davies is wide. Liam Miller slips it through to Kone. David lets it run. Larin! Canada's best chance. Larin misses the target. What a chance that was for Kyle Larin in the 45th.
Perfectly weighted pass from Miller. Kone gets his head up, but look at the awareness from Jonathan David. Just knows where everybody is in that box. Lets that ball run. And Kyle Larin just trying to guide it into the post, into the corner. He'll know that was a golden opportunity.
Like he's done so many times before. Kyle Larin has found the back of the net 29 times for Canada, including the goal that sent them to Copa America in the win over Trinidad and Tobago last time out. Has to go down as the best chance of the game, and there's 2 minutes of stoppage time. Well done by Jonathan David. He was in a pocket of space, but realized the better opportunity was behind him.
He's so clever. He knows where everybody is in that box. Intelligent little play. Just lets it run. This is where the Canadians got to be careful as well. If the defenders drop too deep, you can see Memphis and Wijnaldum are sitting behind Kone and Eustachio, just waiting for those little threaded passes.
Skutin under pressure by Eustachio. Here it comes. Kone gets a piece. Back to Blint.
There it is.
Depay plays it in behind. It's Brian Brobby. Brobby! The combination of Bombito and Sinclair deny that chance, and Depay from distance. Outstanding recovery. Teamwork. Brobby denied.
There it is, Memphis. And Wijnaldum, both of them are just sitting behind, waiting to get on that ball, and a perfectly weighted pass. But Bombito does enough just to come back. Dane Sinclair comes out nice and big. He knows after that touch, now he's got to start coming forward. Makes himself big. Great save. But that's where the Canadians have got to be careful. You can't leave Memphis and you can't leave Wijnaldum in these little areas, because if they do get on that ball, they're looking to spring forward. And with the quality they have, they can punish you.
The Canadian midfield and Kone and Eustachio pressed forward, and Depay did so well to find that pocket of space. The speed, the pace of Bombito. Brobby had him by a couple yards to start. He made it up just like that. Incredible by the Canadian center back, and understanding the danger of not only being on a caution, but committing that challenge in the area as well, he had to be sure.
No, he had to. He had to have a lunge. But the determination to get back was great, because what ends up happening as Brumby's going, he'll start seeing out of the corner of the eye that Bombito's coming. And now he's got to make a decision. He's got the goalkeeper coming. And it becomes panic mode.
Well, the chances came late for both the Netherlands and Canada. Sinclair was up for it. An intriguing and, let's say it, an impressive first half of football for Canada under Jesse Marsch. Through 45 minutes in Rotterdam, it's the Netherlands 0 and Canada 0 right here on One Soccer.
This match is brought to you by CIBC, Canada Soccer's lead partner.
In 5 years, we'll be doing this, but in Japan.
In 5 years, my family will be joining me.
I'll be living in the city.
Not living in the city.
In 5 years, I'll be king of the court.
I'll be playing for Canada.
I'll be playing for Canada.
In 5 years? Where won't I be in 5 years?
This ultimate mouth-watering moment is brought to you by the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Hot Dogs, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada, because this journey belongs to everyone.
Canada's men's national team on One Soccer is brought to you by Toyota.
It's Matchday Live presented by CIBC right here on One Soccer. The first 45 in the books between this friendly between the Netherlands and Canada. No goals scored in that first half as we welcome you to halftime inside our One Soccer studio. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, Christian Jack with you. The Canadians with some chances to start the game, but as it started to warm up, the Netherlands showing their might. Some good chances by them.
Yeah, I liked how Canada kind of held on, but didn't really feel like that this half, KJ. There are moments where Canada really liked the way that they were playing, but you know when you go against an opposition like the Dutch that you need to be resolute in your defensive capabilities, and they were this half.
Yeah, look, they've been excellent, the Dutch, technically going forward. I think Canada, we're going to get to them. There's a lot of things to like about them, but as an attacking unit, we know when the Dutch have taken advantage of wide areas. Canada has defended very, very narrow.
Compact.
Yeah. And Van der Ven's been heavily involved. They're almost saying we want you to have the ball, and then it's led to opportunities like this. Great clearance by Derek Cornelius.
Yeah, you need your players and defenders to be locked in. You see Cornelius there. Eustachio's had a couple of blocks as well, but just putting everything on the line. They're so compact. They're saying this is how you're going to beat us, and making sure, look, big moments there, right, that they've stepped up throughout the entire first half.
We know the Dutch are really dangerous from set pieces as well. They're a clear, good set piece team. I think Robbie there just wants to get somebody on the end of it as he heads it back. And then as Canada tired, they started to take a little bit too many touches themselves in their own half. Dutch got comfortable, can take advantage of that space. Quick combination play. And Dane Sinclair, who's had a really good half, we're going to get into his big moment right before the end of the half as well. But Robbie's a real handful. He's a physical. He's really good with his back to goal. He's powerful. And then you get moments like this, Jordan.
Love it. I mean, for me, Bombito pressed. He's on a yellow, but the dedication to just never give up. I think he does so well.
Big save.
But Dane St. Clair to come out. This is what you need in that high press system, Andy, for your keeper to be on their line, moving out quickly and making that big save. And he does that perfectly there.
And these are the players we've also been watching. Bombito getting the start, Cornelius getting the start, looking good. I mean, Alistair Johnson, obviously a perennial starter, but making some good blocks as well. And Dane St. Clair there in net, not looking uncomfortable whatsoever. Has the identity of Canada started to take shape right away in that first 45 for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone watching at home is taking the notes and looking at what's happening. What is this Jesse Marsch team looking like in white? And we've seen clear examples of it, right? Well, look how narrow they are, first of all, where they give the space away in the wide areas. The attackers are 4. I want to highlight this man right here, Jonathan David, as we mentioned, his defensive prowess for a reason. Play the clip through and just watch what David does here in the event of making sure that he goes and presses well. And it's not that really as aggressive press, but it's just making sure you're there and then winning the ball and creating chances. And this has been the best chance. It's a minute into the game. David wins the ball at that moment. They're pretty calm. And then how do you get behind Van de Ven? Plays the ball. He's looking at the ball. And then that way you're gone. So we play it through again. And Jonathan David has a really great opportunity here, Jordan.
Love it. Love that he started the press. He's able to get on the wrong side of the defender. You just want him to play hard and low right across, right?
You do.
That's that time. But we said it pre-game how his role will be basically dropping in the middle and creating that 3 in the midfield with Eustachio and Kone, but how pivotal his movement is and his positioning. And so far this first half, he's been exceptional.
Yeah, you can see again the press. This is in the first 10 minutes. Again, watch David again in the middle of our screen here, just to keep an eye on him, play it through here. But defensively, again, just watch how he does it and with his eyes. Watch his scanning ability here. He understands what he's watching the goalie, he thinks he's going right, and then look left. He's already going defensively. He's working out how can I get to Gravenberch at that moment to track him at this area.
And when I'm looking at KJ, and there's a difference in football, right, between a jog and a sprint. If he jogs, it's useless about his position, but he hunts. He's taking off. We did it in slow motion, but in real time, he is sprinting in that position. And right now you're seeing 5 Canadian players. A right back in Alistair Johnston. You're seeing Eustachio as a midfielder pressing. Everyone is hunting. If you look at the size of this pitch, it's so condensed, KJ, right? They're literally playing in a corner, and this is the Jesse Marsch era, and this is how he wants things to be.
Yeah, and if you play it through, you can see just how high they've gone there, and that's Eustachio and Johnston very high. They win the ball back again. The goalkeeper's out of position at that moment. Canada's not able to take advantage of it, but they did tire a little bit. But again, this is another area where this is Van de Ven, who's been very, very lively in this game for a reason, and there's a reason why they're basically offering him the pitch. Look how narrow Canada are as they attack into this area and high up they are up the field. Play this through, and I want to show you a couple of examples and work with you on this, Jordan, as well, what we've seen right away. And they're offering the wide areas, but then they go. Yeah. Miller goes, and then we're going to pause it there. Who's coming? Davies is coming out, and then look how high Cornelius is in these situations as well. But there's key areas that I want to focus on, and in particular this man here, Eustachio, and what he watches next. We'll play it through, and there's a couple of danger areas that we noticed that led to chances.
Yeah, for me, Eustachio, his awareness is huge because you see shooting taking off. In an ideal world, you'd probably want Cornelius to leave Wenlamin and allow that switch to happen and stay in that center-back position. But if we play it through, Eustachio sees this area, sees that Cornelius is committed, and makes that run. That's a dog run for a defensive midfielder to run that 20 yards.
He follows shooting there.
Yes, he follows him, and now he takes that position in the back 4.
But now he takes a position in the back 4. But here's my issue, and this is what we've seen already. As they go in that way, they're on their back foot. Wijnaldum here is safe.
Yes.
But a lot of players are not going to be safe. You play Argentina in the speed that they pass, that ball's gone. That ball's over there, and look at the back line and a little bit of the concern that we have with it there. And that's what got exposed as the half went on, was that pressing. So we've seen good signs of it, and then issues with it defensively.
Yeah, you know at some point in a match, if you keep pressing and pressing, that you're going to get moments like that. So that's obviously something that Canada wants to nullify, but I like the aggressive intention. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit at times.
Sticking to their identity already. It's been competitive.
And these are the types of opponents you want to be able to test that kind of new tactic as well for these players as well. And it also becomes a bit of war of attrition. You mentioned they got a little tired near that first half. We did see it. A little rest here as we head into the second half. That woman, she can really get a good look of the game with the size of those glasses. That's for she is not missing any of the action.
That's the pressure on Koeman.
That's the kind of pressure he has on him. I see you.
Canadian soccer fans, we're different. We cheer on the Reds while cheering out our motherlands and each other's lands. Soccer is in our hearts. Our roots are on display. Not to divide, but to unite. Because to us, soccer's more than just a game. It's who we are. From coast to coast to coast, it connects us all. Cheers to us. Cheers to the game.
Do we really have any choice at all? Everyone has a choice, and every choice has a consequence.
Which do you choose?
Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
How do you choose?
Halftime stats brought to you by Toyota. So yes, near the end there, as we showed you, Netherlands with the better of the chances here. So 3 shots on target, 9 total. But despite even looking at the possession, the Canadians are still in this, and they did have their chances. We showed you Jonathan David a minute in, and how about Kyle Larin?
This is how you take a negative to a positive. This is off of a corner. And just Canada just making all the right decisions. Liam Miller playing David. David looking to the right side, saying, you know what, I'm going to go back to Liam Miller. And then playing the chance big. I think here, just that desire to get into the box. You have Kone there, making the run. And then this man right here. Kyle Larin is always in that spot, but you're hoping that he just had a bit more quality. But that's the biggest chance for Canada right
I like Liam Miller's involvement. I think he's been good. He's been good in them half spaces. Maybe they can try and get Buchanan involved a little bit similarly on the other side.
Yes.
Canadians giving themselves a chance in that second half. No goals scored inside the first 45. Match week 9 of the Canadian Premier League. You can catch it right here on One Soccer, the home of the CPL. We are also the home of the national team, international friendly right now between Netherlands, Canada. We'll see if any changes will be made in that second half and how the Canadians can hold up against the Dutch in Rotterdam, Netherlands. You're watching all the action right here. It's Matchday Live, presented by CIBC on One Soccer.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
From the edge of your seat or up on your feet, let them hear you cheer.
Life's better with extra space. Space for family. Space for memories. Space for you. Try 4 weeks free. Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer.
In 5 years, we'll be doing this, but in Japan.
In 5 years, my family will be joining me.
I'll be living in the city.
Not living in the city.
In 5 years, I'll be king of the court.
I'll be playing for Canada.
I'll be playing for Canada.
In 5 years? Where won't I be in 5 years?
CanadaSoccerStore.com is the official home for the widest range of Canada Soccer licensed product, match jerseys, and fanwear.
Welcome back inside De Kuip in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. It's goalless through 45 minutes between the Netherlands and Canada. Gareth Wheeler, Jimmy Brennan with you. We were just looking on a moment ago. Looks like Jesse Marsch is preparing to make his first change, and it looks like Jacob Schaffelberg will be making his way onto the field. We'll get to Schaffelberg in a moment once that's confirmed, but your big takeaway from the first 45 minutes for this Canada side, their first half under Jesse Marsch.
No, I liked it. I liked the eagerness in the defending, how everybody was getting back and tracking runners, throwing their body on the line, not giving any chances to the Dutch. And I also liked on the flip side just how they were pressing and hunting together. I thought it was a good performance, and it was a good 45 minutes. Now they've just got to continue that momentum.
The Pride of Port Williams, Nova Scotia about to come into the match. Jacob Schaffelberg with goals in back-to-back games. He's going to replace Liam Miller in the Canada 11. So Miller out, Schaffelberg in. Your thoughts on the way that Miller played over the course of the first half? There was a lot of running for this Canada side in general, Jimmy, just being comfortable giving away the ball at times and playing in that compact system.
No, I thought Miller did well. He held his own. He was coming inside, trying to get Davies that pathway and the runway to get forward. And now with Schaffelberg, if he's on the left, playing with Davies, that's an awful lot of pace going down that side. But it is very difficult at times for Miller, for Buchanan, just the way that you're playing when you're playing in that press, because if it does get broken, you could see them tracking back, and it's a lot of yards that they have to cover when you're playing in those positions.
Some final instructions. Marsch for Schaffelberg says it. He's impressed him in these early days of his Canada reign. A few days in camp, and Schaffelberg immediately, he seems like a Jesse Marsch type player, direct, quick, able to press, and look at that, right out of the gates, Schaffelberg with the ball out wide. It's going to be a Canada corner kick here in the first few seconds of the second half. So Eustachio to take this one. It was the only change through 45 minutes, Schaffelberg for Miller. Kind of with numbers inside the 6. Eustachio near post, didn't get it up and over when Yeldum able to steer that clear. For Canada, Sinclair's the goalkeeper, the back four from right to left. Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius, and the captain, Alphonso Davies. Kone and Eustachio in the two-man midfield. With the two wide players, Schaffelberg now down the left, Buchanan down the right, David and Larin leading the line. Kyle Larin missing one 2 minutes before halftime, the best chance Canada created in the first half. Wijnaldum goes down, wasn't much there at all. I'm with you, Ismail Kone. But Gravenberch goes down, and a free kick for the Dutch. Little Koeman side is playing a 4-3-3. Verbruggen's a goalkeeper. Van de Ven at left back. Trouder at right back. Blind, the captain, and De Ligt in the center back pairing. It's Gravenberch, Wijnaldum, and Schouten in the midfield. Depay, Robbie, and Frimpong playing down the right-hand side. There's Jeremy Frimpong. Tries to play it through to Wijnaldum. Eustachio misses Jonathan David, and the ball runs through to the goalkeeper, Verbruggen. Anything you want to see different or improved out of Canada in this second half, Jimmy?
I thought it was good. Look, it's always difficult when you go into these matches. They've had limited time. You got Jesse Marsch, who's trying to implement his style of play, his philosophy into the players, and you're starting to see how he wants to play. And ideally, you'd like to see a 90-minute performance, but it does take a little bit of time for the players all to adjust and adapt to the way this team is eventually going to play. And I think you'll start to see the team over time get stronger and stronger and really buy into what he's preaching.
Sinclair. Safety first, played it wide, stays in, it's Ryan Gravenberch.
And then going to what we were saying before as well, you know, when they do go in for the press, the back four has got to make sure that they're up, because when Yeldum and Memphis are sitting in those little pockets behind Kone and Eustachio, and you can't let them get on the ball.
Great ball by De Ligt to Frimpong. It's been a good matchup with Davies. Frimpong stops. Schaffelberg comes over to help. Nothing there. Off goes Schaffelberg. Larin forced back. Davies knocked over by his Bayern Munich teammate De Ligt. Play continues. Look out, Wijnaldum. Gigi Wijnaldum. Still on it. Eustachio recovers. Cornelius just held him right there. Good patience. Gravenberg, another Canadian giveaway. Ryan Gravenberg. Good save by Dane Sinclair, diving down to his right. A tricky one as it was in tight. Gravenberg denied by Sinclair.
There, Coney's he's dribbling in, can't get out of it, end up losing possession. Cornelius does well, just pushing him away from goal. Dane Sinclair, his eyes on the ball, gets down quick. Very good save. There should have been a foul early on with Alphonso Davies. With the two hands by Delict.
Pombito spins off Broby and takes the ball off Depay. Kone, Canada just needs to settle it down. Just lost control there for a few moments. Cornelius. Good hold-up play by Laren. Gravenberg through the legs of Johnston. Robbie. Pombito just checks, holds his ground that time. Frimpong. And Davies. Scoot. Canada get back in their defensive shape. Trouta. Frimpong again. Frimpong, dangerous ball, Depay! Memphis Depay, goal number 45 for the Netherlands. The service, the finish, the style, and the Netherlands leads 1-0. Frimpong has been a threat, and he finds the danger man in Depay, and it's 1-0.
Davies just dropped off, doesn't close down quick enough. Frimpong just whips it in. Right behind the back line. Perfectly weighted cross. Johnson just can't get the right side of Memphis. It's an easy tap in. No pressure on Memphis here, no pressure. Dane Sinclair's got no chance. But it's all about the service, that delivery, just whipped around the back line. You can see Jesse Marsh be looking, thinking, how is he getting a free shot on goal? No pressure. Be disappointed with this start to the second half.
Memphis Depay coming off a year that was a struggle for Atletico Madrid. Is now at a contract, but continually shows up for country. Just 5 goals back of Robin Van Persie now for the all-time lead in goal scorers for the Netherlands. Full credit to Frimpong. He's grown into this game. They're looking wide right again. Sinclair under pressure. Davies slips. Can't keep it in play. Quick throw is taken with Davies off the field. Frimpong spins back into it. Frimpong had 12 assists in all competitions for Bayer Leverkusen this season. What a player. Gravenberg. Here is Frimpong again. Becoming a problem down this right side. Just Frimpong's third cap, by the way. This is a position, at least when they play a back three, that's been taken up by Denzel Dumfries. Frimpong has looked very much the part. There's Schaffelberg. He's got to step on Delict. Jacob Schaffelberg. It's not going off the post or the goalkeeper. It comes off the goalkeeper's shoulder. Almost ran out of real estate. Schaffelberg wasn't sure what he was going to do, but that works. A Canada corner.
Look at this run by Schaffelberg. You see the pace that he has. Now he gets into this area. He's waiting for runners to come in, but nobody could keep up with him. You can see there, he's thinking, yeah, maybe I could have cut it back, but I didn't have much room. ends up having a shot and goal, gets a corner from it. But that's his strength. Just let him run. Let him get in behind. It'll cause havoc.
Eustachio. Schaffelberg. Back across, dangerous ball. Verbruggen goes up and gets it. 2 or 3 Canada players on the far post. With Frimpong playing so high for the Dutch, it's really pinning Davies back at times. He's going to need that support from Schaffelberg down that left to get Alphonso Davies forward. Just get him involved from an attacking perspective. Verbruggen. Scooten. It's a pressure again. Blint. Nice little touch by Memphis. Memphis Depay, the goal scorer to Wijnaldum. Big challenge by Alistair Johnston. Frimpong first to it. Looks like Jesse Marsh is preparing more changes. Gravenberg as Alistair Johnston is down, clutching that right leg. Charles Andreas Brim and Dominic Zator prepare to come into this game. So Johnston's out. I mean, the player's as tough as can be. Just hope he's okay. Player that came back just a couple weeks after what looked like he suffered a fracture of his skull playing in February for Celtic, and Tajon Buchanan coming out as well. So Dominic Zator, former Canadian Premier League player, is going to slot into Johnston's right back position, now playing his club football in Poland. Big moment for Dominic Zator. And Tajon Buchanan, his game is done in the 56th minute. Charles Andreas Brim, who plays for Sparta Rotterdam, very familiar with these surroundings, coming to the game in the 56th minute. So 2 players that you consider depth players going to be really tested and challenged here for Canada. Jimmy.
Absolutely. I mean, these are the games that you want to play in as a player. And yeah, if you're a fringe player, you're hoping you get an opportunity to come on. It's also a chance for...
There goes Frimpong again. Frimpong all alone. Frimpong across. Davies made up the ground, but Frimpong, second chance, it does it. He's been fantastic. Jeremy Frimpong bends it into the corner, doubles the lead for the Netherlands. It's 2-0.
He's been causing problems down this right-hand side. Such an intelligent player, bags of pace, reads the game well.
Frimpong with his first goal for the Netherlands, and it came in transition.
Yeah, it looks like Dominic Zator might have just kept them on side. Here, he gets a little bit of luck. Alphonso Davies blocks it, gets back in time. There's nothing you can do here, just on his left foot, and just wraps it into the corner.
Frimpong has had so much time and space coming down that right-hand side. The only question is whether he did stay onside. There is VAR. Zator just on the field and maybe just kept Frimpong onside. A big moment for Jeremy Frimpong, his third cap for the Netherlands as well.
Yeah, he did well there too. You see what he was doing. He was just putting his heels on the line. He knew he didn't want to get too close to Alphonso Davies. Wanted to get that distance and a gap where a ball could get played behind.
Davies. Kone to David. Zator on the overlap. Kone closed down again. Here's Frimpong. Cornelius beats Robbie to it this time. It's been an absolute handful. Laren to Jonathan David. He's Brim to his right. Zator. Brim comes underneath. Brim fires that straight across.
Good little ball by Zator. Brim takes his first touch, just whips it across goal. There's no chance any of the Canadian players could have got on the end of that.
Van de Ven. That second Dutch goal came seconds after the double change was made. Schouten. Tried over the top. Frimpong again. Depay attempted the audacious. Doesn't come off.
Great little ball that was over top. Frimpong does well just to play it back across goal. Memphis Depay, why not?
Stachio fouled. The Netherlands, the bookmakers' 7th favorites to win Euros. You could make the argument that 5, 6, maybe even 7 players not starting tonight for the Netherlands could be in Ronald Koeman's preferred starting 11 when the tournament starts. Delict. Schaffelberg. There's a foul. So changes upcoming for Ronald Koeman as well. Looks to be at least a triple change as Steven Bergwijn, Wout Weghorst, and Daniel Malin. The night is done for Jeremy Frimpong. A standout performance, something that will stick with his manager. How to utilize this special young player come tournament time. Depay, the other goal scorer for the Netherlands, he's going to come out as well here in the 62nd. As reliable as they come for country. And Brian Brobby, Bombito Cornelius will be thrilled about that as Weghorst takes up the number 9 role with Brobby coming out of the game. So the attacking 3 out, fresh legs in those attacking areas in for Ronald Koeman. Long ball played over, and it's Dane Sinclair swooping in to take. Thought all 3 of them, Jimmy. Brobby, Depay, Frimpong. More than just the goals, all 3 really played their parts.
Yeah, they're a handful. They really are. They're clever players. They've got good movement. Showed their class tonight.
Malin of Borussia Dortmund. Plays it across. Cornelius steps, shoot in. Spilled by Sinclair. Weghorst smashes it home. It's no doubt. It's out. And it's 3-0 for the Dutch. Mistake by Sinclair in this game. Becoming out of reach for Canada. It's gone away from them. And 3-goal cushion for the home side.
Here they are. Canadians are back in numbers. Cornelius just gets his foot in the way. Shot on goal. Dane St. Clair can't hold it. Weghorst just right there at the right place, right time. Typical striker. Just following in his shot. Easy tapping. Dominic Zator's got to get his body across. Not let him have a tap in like that. But this Canadian side now, you've conceded 3 goals. They need to get a grip of the game. Just settle into it again, calm down, just get organized.
So goalless through 45 minutes, but the Dutch have struck 3 times here in the first 19 minutes of the second half. Weghorst the latest. Here's David. Can Canada punch back? Good ball wide left, Alphonso Davies. It's Davies inside. Zator. To Brim. Comes off Van de Ven last. It's going to be a Canada corner kick. You see now Davies wants to get forward, wants to get involved. It's going to be an area that's very much a work in progress, how to get the most of that Canada left side.
And that comes down to possession as well. You need to have the ball in order for your movements to work and match. Whether Schaffelberg comes in, Estekio can play Davies because now he's got the runway.
Davies takes. Ball's loose inside the 6. He's there for the taking. It's Malin. Stumble by Schaffelberg. Does enough to get to the ball, and Malin looks to have fouled Schaffelberg. Nothing's going to be given. It's going to be a Netherlands throw. Eustachio. Brim. Gravenberg stays off him. There's David to his right. Brim to Laren. Plays it back. Kone misses. Zator goes right through it again. It's when they beat at their best. The Dutch in transition. Weghorst. Gravenberg. Malin. Inside to Schutten. Straight through. Zator's got to look out as Van de Ven making his way. A shock to the system for Canada. I mean, this was worst case scenario for Marsh and company, Jimmy, just coming out and getting blitzed. 3 goals that quickly.
Yeah, after first 45 minutes, a lot of promise. Team was playing well, and
Malin over the top of Davies again. Plays it across. Brim. Kone. Finds Schaffelberg. Delict taking no chances. Flag goes up, it's offside. Perhaps on Schaffelberg before. Virgil van Dijk, the Netherlands and Liverpool captain, about to come in the match, as well as Stefan de Vrij. So, I mean, the rich get richer. It just shows you the quality, the depth that the Dutch have at their disposal.
They do have a very strong squad. Lots of depth. Players that are all playing at a very high level.
Blint. Bergwijn. Stephen Bergwijn. Closed down well by Canada. Bergwijn hits, blocked. And Cornelius able to steer that clear. Double change coming for both sides. Ball into touch and a chance for the double change to be made. Junior Hoylett celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday. He's going to make his return to the Canada side, replacing Kyle Larin through 70 minutes. New lease on life for Hoylett, playing for Aberdeen, and Mathieu Chouanière will take up Stephen Eustachio's spot in central midfield. Daley Blin's going to hand over the captain's armband. Big tournament upcoming for Virgil van Dijk. Matthijs de Ligt will come out for Stefan de Vrij of Inter as well. So experience and quality for experience and quality across this Netherlands back line. Center back pairing replaced. A chance for Koeman to give them some critical minutes here. Eustachio to Brim. Mathieu Chouanière. His third Canada cap giveaway. Gravenberg. Bergwijn. Ajax spent $31 million to bring Bergwijn back to the Premier League, or to Ajax from the Premier League and Spurs. As a record spend in the Eredivisie. Hoylett. Back wearing number 10 tonight for Canada. Chouanière cuts it across. Well read by Yeldum. And a Dutch free kick. Van Dijk. Gertruida. Little give and go down this right-hand side. Weghorst. Almost scored a goal every 2 games while playing for Wolfsburg. Plays for Hoffenheim now. Van Dijk. Another Dutch manager will be in charge of Liverpool next season in Arne Slot. Quick turnaround for Canada. They play France on Sunday in Bordeaux. France, a 3-0 victory over Luxembourg on Sunday. De Vrij. Van Dijk. with De Vrij. Wijnaldum. Big switch by Daniel Malin. To play in the final 10 minutes in the Champions League final, did Malin. Gravenberg. Malin. Van de Ven, solid down the left-hand side. It's a system more and more managers are using. Everyone seems to copy Pep Guardiola playing center back in the left back role, provides cover, but Van de Ven looks comfortable going forward as well.
Yeah, there's so many different variations of it now. Wide guys coming inside, fullbacks coming in, center backs stepping in to overload certain areas. But you can just see that the standards kind of dropped a little bit with this Canadian side from the first half, where they were pressing in numbers, they were going after the ball. They just can't seem to get there now. It's kind of half measured. It's a little jog to close down.
Weghorst. Good ball to Malin. Davies gets a block on it. It's going to be another Netherlands corner kick here.
But that's what ends up happening when you drop off and you drop off the work rate. You start getting picked apart. It's because you're not closing down again with the same intensity. You're not going with numbers.
17th shot of the match for the Netherlands. 9 have been on target. Got a lot of joy coming down this right side. It's Malin. Davies gets to it first. Trotter, see you later. Plays it into the 18. Weghorst, it was Cornelius, got there just about in time. Weghorst's eyes were wide open.
Cornelius, he's had a good game today. Been impressed by him. A lot of positives.
Schaffelberg, good ball to the far post. Hoylett got there. Brim was there as well. Good direct play and direct runs by Canada. Hoylett just couldn't put it on target.
It's a terrific ball. Again, Schaffelberg just finding a space on the left-hand side. Just takes a touch, gets his head up, and just whips it perfectly behind. A bit too much pace for Brim. Couldn't get on the end of it. Junior Hoylett just lunges. Can't guide it on goal. And here, just a simple little chop. Comes inside, whips it in. Cornelius does well just to get a foot out.
Weghorst, one of the highlights of the last World Cup for the Netherlands, twofold, beating the U.S. to win a knockout round matchup, and then in the quarterfinal tie against Argentina, ended up taking them to penalties after being 2 goals down. Weghorst came off the bench and scored a brace. Really turned the tides of that quarterfinal tie. Mind you, had real problems scoring, putting himself in a position to score for Manchester United on loan last season. Samuel Piet's turn. He's going to replace Ismail Kone here in the 78th minute. A lot of running. Good experience tonight for Kone. He's replaced by the experienced holding midfielder and Samuel Piet.
I thought Kone did well. Covered an awful lot of ground tonight. He's aggressive in his play. Yeah, a couple times gave the ball away, but I liked how he wants to get on the ball. He's always looking for it. And when he sees space in front, he loves to dribble in.
De Vrij. Schaffelberg, 3 goals in 19 for Nashville so far this season. Grim. Davies. What do you make of Davies at left back tonight here, Jimmy?
Look, we know what he's capable of, and he got to utilize his strengths. And that's him getting forward and bombing down the line. But it goes back to what I said before. You've got to have possession. You've got to be able to build up and clear that space for him to go forward. And at times, I don't felt that we did enough. You saw him a couple of times when we had a little bit of possession, moving the ball well into the striker, back into the midfielder, and then he can get down the line. But it just seems at times when we're getting on the ball, we're just looking to rush forward quick. Doesn't allow him to get forward.
Here is Davies getting forward to Schaffelberg. Schaffelberg. It's DeVray. Back out to Davies. This is where he wants to be. Scored a great goal playing further forward for Real Madrid, coming on for an injured Serge Gnabry in the second leg of the Champions League semifinal. It's been the recurring question over the last 4 or 5 years: where to play your best player. Brim. Chouanier. Foul on Piet. Catches Wijnaldum. Marsh, plenty to ponder as he puts these pieces together. Only 2 training sessions with the full group. The team will actually go away after the match on Sunday for about 2.5 days before they come back into camp for preparation for that massive tie against Argentina to kick off Copa America on June 20th, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Stefan DeVray. Another Serie A title for DeVray in Inter. Trotter has been good tonight, the right back. Malin. Good ball inside. Veghorst! Wout Veghorst! That's a great save by Dane Sinclair. Waited long enough, denying Veghorst. Best save of the match for Dane Sinclair.
Good run by Veghorst. Look, just gets in front of Bombito. Gets in 1v1, and again, Dane Sinclair, nice and big. Nice stiff arm. That's where Bombito's got to go with the runner. Got to keep an eye on him and the ball.
Ball played low, skips through, Zator pops it up, it's still loose, Van Dijk. That's too easy, Virgil van Dijk, the captain, heads home past Sinclair off his line, make it 4 for the Netherlands. It's 4-0.
It's just been too easy for this Dutch side in the second half. Quality started to shine through. Canadians have been struggling a little bit with their movement. And here, a simple header. Brim's got to challenge it. Get in there. Don't just try to block him. Get up and challenge. The ball's meant to be won when you're defending in the box. It's been too easy.
Well, the levy has been breached in Rotterdam as the Netherlands continue to punish some Canadian indecision. That's the 8th goal for country for Virgil van Dijk. Looks like they want more. It's Bergwijn. Kind of need to be careful. The depth really being tested here. David tries to play it through to Schaffelberg. Hopeful ball doesn't come off. It was 3-0 in 1994 at Varsity Stadium. Netherlands won their only meeting here in Toronto. The final warm-up match ahead of the USA 94 World Cup. You and I were there that day.
That's right. What a team they had back then as well.
Who were the goal scorers that day? Bergkamp, Rijkaard, and Overmars. In fact, the manager Koeman was on the field that day. He's looking to become just the second player who won a Euro to go on and win one as a manager as well. The only other Bertie Voits. Gravenberg. His day is done. Put in a shift in the middle of the park. It's going to be replaced by, I believe, Joey Veerman. Veerman had quite the season for PSV. Had 16 assists in the Eredivisie. 16. Created more chances than anyone else. Schaffelberg slips, falls fortuitously to David. Here's Davies. Schwania. Free kick, Canada. France straight ahead on short rest for Canada. I just wonder how much Didier Deschamps may rotate for France. Mbappe played most of the game, so did Griezmann. Some of the key French players. It's wonderful to see N'Golo Kanté back on the field for Les Bleus. Big addition ahead of Euro. Find themselves in the same group as the Netherlands. Here is Schaffelberg. He's got some joy down the left-hand side. Couldn't connect there with Davies. This is where Canada really get opened up. Malin. The Dutch just taking their foot off the pedal just a little bit. What do you make of the Netherlands' chances to go on and do some damage at Euro? The last time they won was 1988 when the tournament was staged in Germany.
Look, there's no doubt they've got world-class players. They've got a deep squad. Fantastic manager. And they do have the potential to go on and win it. But mind you, there is some fantastic teams in the Euro with just as much quality and deep squads.
Speaking to their depth, I mean, Veerman comes off the bench. The midfield three have been solid for the Dutch. I mean, they could include three players, none of them playing tonight, but Frankie de Jong, he's been dealing with an ankle, the Barcelona player. Tijani Renders of AC Milan, and Toine Koopmeiners of Atalanta. David gets to it. Back to Brim. Zator. Keeps it alive. Cornelius! So one area that Marsh will look to build on moving forward is just general squad depth. I mean, 19 players in this Dutch side play in the top 5 leagues of European football. I mean, depth like that. And they play for the biggest club, players that are winning trophies on a regular basis.
Yeah, we're not there yet. You know, I thought the first half, 45 minutes, I thought the players did very, very well. And he'll be looking at it as well, thinking, okay, I brought a lot of players off the bench. This is an opportunity for you to show me what you've got. Do I have players on the bench that can come on, make a difference? And you're right, over time, he's got to look at building this player pool even more, getting players playing at a higher level.
Should also mention, there is a Canadian connection in this Dutch side. Dwight Lodevedges, former Edmonton driller, 79 to 82, was born in Turner Valley, Calgary. He's Koeman's assistant. Assistant with Barcelona as well. A lot of proud Dutch fans residing in this country. Obviously, all kinds of Dutch relationships within Canada. Scooted. Come major tournament time, no one travels better than the Orange Army, and you see it across great Canadian cities and watch parties over the course of the Euros as well. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be added. Running simultaneous to Copa America should be interesting. Football basically all day across this country all the time in the month of June and July.
It's great, the more the better. A lot of football this summer.
It's not just Argentina that is on the docket for Canada, also at Copa America. Play Peru in Kansas City on the 25th, then in Orlando against Chile. Richie Laryea was on the bench tonight for Canada. There is a chance he may be available to play see some action on the field on Sunday as well. Brim hits! Straight into the arms of Verbruggen. Charles Andreas Brim with the long-range effort.
It's a great strike. Just comes inside. Takes on Virgil van Dijk. Gets on his left foot. Hits it with power, but couldn't beat the keeper.
Cornelius. A bright spot has to be the play of the two center backs, a brand new pairing in Cornelius and Bombito.
Yeah, they've been good, very good. I like their aggression, I like the way that they were playing. Cornelius, for me, has been a standout tonight. He's got a lot of clubs that is watching him. Hopefully he gets a good move.
Davies. Zator. We'll see how much Jesse Marsch decides to rotate on short rest on Sunday as well. Well, a step up in competition and a step too far for Canada in this one. They lose in Rotterdam 3-0 to the Netherlands. 4 second-half goals. Depay opened the score in the 50th. Frimpong added another in the 57th. Weghorst and Van Dijk off the bench to add 2 more for the Netherlands, who look in fine form as they head into the Euros. For Canada and Marsch, well, he's off to a losing start, but big games still to come for Canada. Final score from Rotterdam, it's the Netherlands 4 and Canada 0.
Whistle has been blown inside Feyenoord Stadium. 4-0 the final between Canada and the Netherlands. The Canadians looking good in that first half. It was goalless after the first 45. Some changes made in that second half by the Dutch. Some tired legs by the Canadian. And 4-0 ends up being your final as we welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio. Matchday Live presented by CIBC. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, Christian Jack. Did you see much difference between the Canadians in the first half, second half? Just what was, or maybe even the Dutch, did you see a change that led to the score being what it ended up being in that second half?
Yeah, for sure. There's a change on both sides, but I'll focus on Canada. I feel like it's difficult, KJ, to go and press and to be compact for 90 minutes. And that's why there are two halves in football. I thought Canada were exceptional first half, keeping the game tight, hunting together. But as the game opened up, the Dutch had moments in the midfield specifically where they could break down Canada. But it's just hard to go and press and to hunt all the time. But this is one of those things that they'll learn, and this is the learning curve you need against such a great nation like Netherlands.
Yeah, it's a ruthless lesson, right? No doubt about it. I mean, ultimately, were they beaten today comprehensively? Yeah, by the scoreline. I think there was parts in the game where you wouldn't say that. I don't think it was technically a 4-0 game, but this is what playing at the highest level is. This is when you play genuine world-class players and have combinations, and they can be ruthless in those moments. That's what they are. And, I just think ultimately they'll be disappointed with the result. I'm sure Jesse Marsh will be interested into seeing and watching it back and seeing that they did play well in the first 45 minutes. And then why did it just rapidly decline in the second half? And there's elements to that where I think fatigue set in. And yeah, you have to remember you're getting these players off the back of, many of them off the back of a very busy European season as well. And I suppose that would open some people up to asking, is that style the way that you need to be playing? But I think that's way too early to have that conversation right now.
Sure, and adjustments are always made in the second half. So if you want to come out and play that way and then just know that the other team's going to adjust to you, maybe those are the changes you make in the second. But somebody who caught our eye here and is our Gatorade performance of the match actually is on Netherlands, and that is Jeremy Frimpong. A goal and an assist here today, 23 years of age, plays for Bayer Leverkusen. First goal for country.
He'll score a lot more, KJ. If I had to bet my bottom dollar on it, he's had an excellent season. Coming in for the Netherlands today was a pain on that right side. He had a fantastic match.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about a little bit by showing a little bit of the tactical video that we could in the small time we had at half-time, was that, if the Netherlands were going to get the results and the success, it was the path to success was wide.
Yeah.
And Canada were very compact and said, okay, try and beat us in wide areas. The Dutch are very good in wide areas. Dumfries didn't even play. There's a lot of other players out there.
Talent.
Yeah, talent that they have. But he was very good. And again, another player that is, as you said, just been with Leverkusen, who've won almost, they lost one game this season, which was their last in the European final, and dominated the Bundesliga. So he's coming from a culture of winning, and he's full of experience and confidence.
Yeah, we heard his name quite a bit in today's match. Someone else's name we heard, and also we were just keeping an eye on him, Dane St. Clair getting the start for Canada here, as there seems to be a changing of the guard in between the sticks. He made a good save at the end of the first half and then kept the saves coming in the second as well. This is the All-State save of the match. A big one here for Dane St. Clair. It does go out. It leads to a corner. Virgil van Dijk will end up scoring after that. But what did you make of this save in particular, KJ?
I thought he was excellent. I thought he was very athletic, very quick off his line, much like the one on Brian Brobby in the first half. Weghorst scores a ton of goals like that, where he reads the goalie, believes he's going down, and shoots across his body. And Sinclair was, I thought he had, obviously people will look at the goal that he dropped, but that came off a deflection in the leg as well, than that. So I thought he was a real positive on the night.
We said it pre-game, that's his strength, right? Shot stopping, but you know better than anyone, Andy. To come out, you have to stay big, look at the ball, make sure that you're cutting off an angle, but you can't go down too early. Players at that caliber will chip you, will pick a corner. You have to look at your demise and really say, I'm going to make a save, and that's what he did. And he was there to get a big hand on it. But even his leg, it was an athletic save. All in all.
We'll talk more about Dane St. Clair a little later on in the show. And even though we did think he had a pretty strong performance, you're right. I guess the score doesn't necessarily say the game that he had. But either way, we're going to highlight the goals that the Dutch ended up scoring. Let's take a look at the first one, KJ. Again, all of these goals coming in the second half. The Canadians very strong defensively in that first half.
Yeah, disappointing, I think, with this goal in the manner of that they lose the header right away there. And, Schaffelberg loses the header, and I think that leads to the issue. And they start to lose duels in this moment. moment, you know, and this moment you can see there's the aforementioned Frimpong against Davies, and it's all very compact, right? It's all very defensively organized. And if you pause it right there for me just at this moment, Jordan, you think that defensively Canada have got a decent structure.
Yeah, decent. I mean, in an ideal world, I think they play it back, the Netherlands, and I want to see Canada, that back line, a leader, a voice, stepping them up 5 yards.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, let's play it through and show them on that then.
Yeah.
This is where they get too deep here.
For sure, in my opinion. Step, boom. Like you see Canada, the back line's out of the frame right now. I would love to see them
come out. Yeah.
And then it's okay if you drop again, but just allowing Netherlands to step a little bit.
Yeah, and if we can just back up a little bit there, just a little bit, we'll just back up. What I want to highlight here is that moment, you know, Cornelius has to be here, right?
Yes.
At that moment, because he doesn't know where this ball's coming in. He doesn't know if Frimpong's going to have the beating of Davies. So we know that why Cornelius is here. And this is Brobby with Bombito in the middle there. So they've got the two players there. We can highlight two different areas. So let's talk about the fullbacks, okay? Fullback, left back here. This has got to be tighter. I think you would agree.
I would.
And then Johnston here on the eventual goal scorer.
Yeah, I want to talk about the two fullbacks. The one on the left back being Alphonso Davies. I think at this stage in international football, when you're 25 yards to your goal, you have to engage. I understand you're saying Frimpong will come at you, but there's quality there. And if we could just go back a little bit quickly, I just want to highlight the other fullback in this situation. Keep going a little bit for me. Is Alistair Johnston, right? I think when you see players going into the box, if we could just go back just one, I just want to highlight that one point. You need to go and screen. Yeah, you need to screen players running into the box. Boom, right there. That is just one, KJ. It's not a foul. Put an arm out, drop your shoulder into a player's chest, just to deter them from going into the box and getting a clean run at goal. These are minor things, but they make a major difference if you don't do them correctly.
You can see in Alistair's body language right away that he knows he's missed
that one mistake,
that one error, and you can just sense it. Like he knows better than anybody. Defenders have got to cover. He's watching. Depay comes in, and then he's just lost him just that one split second later. And he would go off shortly after. Hopefully, it's not too much of an injury, but it looked like he got a bit of a niggle there in his leg.
The goals came quick and furious. They scored those 3 goals inside 13 minutes. Let's take a look at the second goal.
Yeah, this one, I'm going to defer to my defensive partner here a lot, but I think this is fascinating for me. I'm going to talk through it first, and I want to show you a particular clip that I want Jordan to highlight for us, because for me, it comes from pressing with Cornelius, and I know Davies gets exploited here by Frimpong again, and once he's in, that's a major problem, and this is sub-finish, by the way.
It is.
On your left foot, that balance into that corner. But for me, you're going to see a different angle in a second where we're going to show you how many men forward Canada has committed, and then the Cornelius press. And I really want Jordan to break it down, because I think at that moment, this is the big moment in the game. For me, you're down 1-0, you're still in it. But here, let's stick on this plan and let's stick on this look for a number of reasons, Jordan, and take us through it, because this is really where Canada's decline started.
Yeah, a little bit, right? And I think I totally agree with you, KJ. It's just something we want to break down in the Jesse Marsh era. For the first half, Canada pressed and they were compact. But you're going to get moments like this in a match where if you're looking at Wilnaman there and you see there Cornelius, eager. But that for me is a 10-yard run that you're never really going to get to. And as a defender, you want to keep attackers with their back facing their goal. You want to keep them that way as much as possible, right? But you can understand that Derek Cornelius can't do that in this situation. So for me, you're looking at the back four for Canada, that is a situation where you fall.
You have your narrow 4-2-2-2 for a reason.
Yes. And if they play through you, the Netherlands, that is the time to fall. So as we play it through, I just want to pause it quickly. Boom. You see there? Now you have 1, and then you have the 3 here, right? But look at all this space now that the Netherlands can go and attack.
Before you play it through, I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but that moment that ball is played into Wijnaldum, that is a planned move. Look at Frimpong.
Yeah, ready to go, because there's one going to the space, so they know that the real space is now in behind and wide. But I don't think that space happens if Cornelius stays here.
Right.
And look, he's had
he could track it with his pace.
Exactly. And he's had an amazing match, but these are the moments under Jesse Marsh's new system where you cannot press and go forward every time. There's sometimes you have to concede and say, you know what, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to fall, and I'm going to help Alphonso Davies. But now that Cornelius goes, Davies, again, it's poor shape, because he's looking at the ball, he's not ready to run in behind. But I don't think that happens if your center back stays right here. So as we play it through, then Canada's just playing catch-up, KJ.
And then he's onside.
He's onside. Davies has to run over. Bombito can't get there because he already has a man. Davies does well to get that first initial block. But what I'm trying to say is Canada's playing catch-up to already a Netherlands team that is going full steam ahead.
Yeah, that was a big moment in the game because at 1-0 you're on the ropes, right?
Yeah.
And then when that happens, you can see it kills them. It killed the momentum. The substitutes come in. You never really got any rhythm in the game, and that was it.
Yeah, it was tough too. That was only 2 minutes after Canada made their substitutions as well. Let's take a look at the third goal.
Yeah, and I think at that point you're really just you're hanging on a little bit. This is a disappointing game, a goal for Sinclair. But again, you know, you have possession of the ball. And for me, at that moment, Zator gets bossed off it. There's no real midfielders for showing for it. At that moment, you're quite stretched. Your defense I think, is a little bit too deep again. And look, I feel for them in the moment here in the half spaces. They're getting too much involved. But you know, for me, Davies there, you've got to stop that coming across. And then we have to have the conversation about clearances with Cornelius on the right foot.
We need to. For me, that is a minor thing in games, but it's a major outcome in terms of, look, I know he's reaching. I know that he's stepping there, Cornelius. But if he puts any type of airtime on that ball and they're able to step their lines, it's not a direct shot on Dane St. Clair. Of course, there are a few things that happened before then. But for me, the difference between the Netherlands or Canada or Van Dijk and Cornelius is those simple moments.
See, it's the fourth goal, too.
Yeah, it's just able to lean back, get that ball cleared, and then you're able to step as a team. But if you play it on top of the box, the play is still alive, and that's what happened on the third goal.
Yeah, in that first half in particular, we knew Netherlands, they were looking so dangerous off set pieces, and then in that fourth goal, that's how that comes.
Yeah, and again, it's one of the things, a player that I love dearly as well, and I battled with him in the Canadian Premier League, Zator, and I know him. He's going to be disappointed with this clearance right there because it falls to him, and yes, is it clear? No, but at that point, when you're in the 6-yard box on a corner, it has to be in the stands. Right? It cannot just be back across. You have Van Dijk, you have all these players, KJ, that will go and hurt you and that are huge, that can win area duels, and that's the fourth goal again. So these minor details make a major impact in the game.
Yeah, it was too easy, right? And at that moment, you know, like a game that looked like it was competitive at halftime, 1-0, oh, maybe 2, oh, they let the 1-2. Suddenly it's out of reach, and suddenly the scoreline doesn't necessarily tell the ideal, I don't think, narrative of what the match was, but it's a lesson that Canada asked for. They need, and they'll be better for it going forward.
Mentioned it in the pregame. You said just as much as we're talking about the Netherlands starting 11, it's who's not starting. They come on in as substitutions, and you see the depth of that nation. But it is the test that the Canadians have wanted. Well, at the end of the match week in the Canadian Premier League, usually this happens on Sunday. Following York United versus Vancouver, it is match night, talking about all things Canadian Premier League, also the national teams, and going around the world of soccer. Don't miss it, Sunday nights right here on One Soccer. When we come back, we will take a look at some of the Canadian chances here, and as well the new faces, or fairly new faces, getting the starts. Bombito, Dane St. Clair, Davies at that left-back position. How did we think they looked? That's what's coming up next on Match Day Live, presented by CIBC on One Soccer.
Do we really have any choice at all? Everyone has a choice, and every choice has a consequence.
Which do you choose?
Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
How do you choose?
This is not just laundry. This is laundry that's one and done. This is the ultra-fast combo laundry machine that does both washing and drying cycles, so you can take a load off. This is cleaning large loads in about 2 hours. No more checking, no more forgetting. Profile is revolutionizing laundry, making any room the laundry room. This is GE Profile.
From the edge of your seat or up on your feet, let them hear you cheer.
Full-time stats between Netherlands and Canada, 4-0 the final here for the home side. 20 shots, 11 of them on target, 61% possession for the Dutch as they get set for the European Championships. Canada, as we know, are preparing for Copa America. And we know that with this being Jesse Marsch's first game as head coach of the Canadian men's national team, there are a lot of players that he's looking at. He's trying to figure out chemistry, the partnerships that work. Dane St. Clair is the one who got the start here today between the sticks. And yes, it was a 4-0 final. We're also trying to figure out not just who will play against France, but more than anything, who will be the starting 11 heading into Copa America. If you're Jesse Marsch, though, score aside, result aside, how are you feeling about St. Clair's performance?
I don't think there's anything there that I would say that he doesn't deserve another chance. And Crepeau would say that he deserves a chance, right?
Sure.
Jesse Marsch told me yesterday that, Dane St. Clair's earned this because of what he's done in training. Does that mean that he's penciled in Crepeau to have another game before Copa America? Certainly could. But I think Dane did really well, and it's not an easy game. And, of course, that one spill was deflection, so that will be an area that he'll want to clean up. But he was heavily involved, and I think he definitely... I liked his distribution, particularly in the first 30 minutes, which I think Canada had a very good first half an hour. And all in all, I thought it was something that he should probably be rewarded with another chance.
I think so, KJ. I would give it to him. Solid performance. Look at the save right here. They can't get enough of that because that is huge. I think with a keeper, I always judge making the saves you're supposed to make, right? If you can go and bail your team out, which he just did right there, that's nice. The goal, the third one, where it goes between someone's leg and your reaction time is very finite. I understand that's difficult, but chemistry and flow between the team, just even hearing him or the way that he's speaking to this back line, yeah, I think give him another shot. I think he looked like a promising keeper for Canada.
What did you make of Canada's chances?
Yeah, look, I think that they were very bright in the first half an hour, and I think that they had opportunities, and people will talk about the Kyle Larin chance right before halftime, rightly so. And that's probably their number one opportunity, right? You're not going to get many chances like this. And we didn't see enough of this in the second half, that kind of combination play, Kone getting forward, all those moments. So you can see the body language, what the players, when they saw Larin miss that they knew that was their opportunity, right? We haven't talked much at all about Eustáquio, and I think that he had a good game. I thought that he played really well in this moment. And Schaffelberg coming on, I think at that moment, he doesn't want to take that extra touch, but there's nobody with him in that moment in the box for him to supply it. And that speaks to his pace as well, and you needed somebody in that box at that moment. This is a great delivery. Just weren't able to get on the end of it. But all in all, you could see that they've got pace in those areas. But I thought the Dutch managed what could be a dangerous Canada lethal attack, particularly in transition, very well.
I want to highlight how difficult it is when you defend and you're so compact to break, to go forward. Like, the energy that it takes, I thought Jonathan David was exceptional, like he always is, in terms of gambling and trying to get into those areas. But you're talking about a team that's sitting back, defending in their half, being compact. You win the ball and you're trying to go forward 70 yards, 60 yards at time. Schaffelberg obviously has that pace on the wing you saw in the second half. But you're asking bodies to keep flying forward after you've just defended and just covered so many kilometers defending. So it's like you really can't have both at full speed all the time. So again, that's another teaching or a situation for Jesse Marsch and the Canada side to learn from. But just watching is you can't have both. So if you want a team that was more resolute and compact and hard to break down, that's what we saw. But it's hard to also, on that same note, go out and be an attacking team as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Schaffelberg just has the jets, and we've seen him do this at the club level. The second he comes on as a sub, he really does change the dynamic, and he just kind of creates chaos in the final third for the opposition. But Canada unable to capitalize and get any goals here tonight. 4-0, the final. Depay getting one of those goals. The Dutch getting set for Euros. Canada getting set for Copa. More coming up here on Matchday Live, presented by CIBC on One Soccer.
to play. It's something that's in us from the very beginning, and something we take with us on every step of the journey. When we have no words, it gives us a way to speak. When we are still finding our way in the world, it gives us somewhere to belong. And no matter who we are or where we come from, it gives us the right to dream.
Christine Sinclair as she scores at her 5th World Cup. Alfonso Davies!
It's time to celebrate the game we love.